Hi, I'm Diana Montford, the world's first transgender television journalist, and I'm going to sit up straight. Born male, became female, and all that jazz. Anyway, my guest is, I'm sucking on a Tic Tac. That's not my guest. My guest is Ms. Elvina Dasilva, who is the host of Spiritual Consciousness. Check your mnn.org listings to find out when it airs. And we are going to talk about her amazing spiritual journey. She is from Brazil, and she is going to tell us, well, whatever it is she chooses to tell us. She's a most evolved and interesting person, and I think you're going to like it. Anyway, Elvina. Hi. So tell me, what is spiritual consciousness about?
When I chose that name, I had in my mind to a kind of teaching people, because I am a teacher, about a spiritual issue. Because one thing for sure, we go to the other side.
I agree.
And when we get in the other side, and we have that experience, and from many years and from many people, from many spiritists, when you get on the other side and you don't know anything, you get lost. You want to come back, you cannot. And depending on the way you die, it is a trauma, because you miss your people, you miss your job, you miss whatever you loved, but you cannot come back at all, and you suffer. And that's why I had that intention to explain that. However, after a while, I start speaking and teaching about apometry. That's the main subject of my program today.
What is it called?
Apometry.
Apometry.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that is.
Apometry is a set of techniques to help people with the spiritual issue or animistic issue. Animistic issue comes with personalities, dissociative multiple personalities that comes from another lifetime, or sub-personalities from the same lifetime, and spirits who live in the spiritual world.
Is multiple personality disorder sometimes different lifetimes coming together in one body? Is that, for example, previous lifetimes coming together in one body, or simultaneous lifetimes, the same soul living different lives simultaneously, manifesting through one body?
Manifest through one body. But some of them are not conscious about their lives.
Right.
They believe they are still living in that lifetime.
Isn't that sad?
And
Yes.
sometimes they want to get your brain and live your life believing that you are the one who is bothering them. When
When it's in fact you are the host soul and they are bothering you, you are not bothering them.
But it's lack of conscience, especially when they are dissociated. But sometimes they get together, many of them, who do not understand the way things, the real things. They don't understand they are attached to you because they were you in another lifetime, all belonging to the same spirit. They don't understand that.
The same kind of oversoul and different manifestations of that soul in different lifetimes.
Yeah, but they get together, and when it happens, there is a leader, and one dominates the other against you. Because, for example, they do not, or a leader or the other one doesn't understand you the way you have your life, and this lifetime you have, it is yours.
Yes.
But they do not accept that for some reason, and they get together in order to do something against you. And they can, depending on the circumstance, they can get your brain and act. And you suddenly change. You alter your way of
being. Yes.
And sometimes people don't understand you. And even yourself don't understand, because when they get your brain, you don't understand that. You live the way they want, but you cannot see So it also happens. That's animistic. And apometry is more for people because apometry helps people with that. A medium or a sensitive can incorporate a personality and then bring the personality to the reality. You are not living the lifetime. Conscience, make the personality conscious of the life he or she had, and then help you instead of bothering you.
Why is it that when people get to the other side, there isn't some guide? I've often read that in near-death experiences, when people get to the other side, there's a loved one or a close friend who has passed over before, waiting to say either, you know, it's time, come on, or no, it's not your time, go back. So why is it that there's no one there for these souls when they cross over?
To help them with?
Yes.
You know, each person has a different experience according to the actions of the person. The point is that depending on the life you lived, you go to get those of same vibration.
I see.
If you are a person with this and that kind of lifestyle, and your lifestyle was, during the life you had, was not that of a great vibration, you certainly will find on the other side those you were in you were in connection with since you were in here. You already was in connection with them, and when you get in there, you go to them.
In other words, if in a certain life you were on a low vibration, when you pass over, you will associate with people you knew here on the same low vibration.
Yeah, because you were already associating with them while you were
here.
Yes. So there is an example of a guy living. It is in the books of apometry, and when he was a great son, a great husband, a great father, but well educated.
Yes.
But when he turned 40s,
you told me this story. Yes.
All started. He did not know exactly the personality he had. He did not have sexual drive. It was a problem between himself and his wife and his family and everyone else.
Before he was 40, that he didn't have sex drive?
No,
or
before.
After?
When he turned.
I see.
Before, everything was fine. And then he did not understand. He went to psychiatrists, he went to everywhere, every possibly medicine he could have, but nothing helped him. And then, guess what?
What?
In another lifetime, himself and his wife of this time, they were the owners of a brothel.
A brothel, a whorehouse, yes.
But himself, as well as his wife, more himself, he, other than the owner, he also made money being a prostitute.
In other words, he cross-dressed as a woman and made money as a prostitute?
No, on that time he was the owner of the brothel.
And he made money as a man selling himself?
And as both sides.
With women and men?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then those spirits who still were in there, because the brothel continued when everyone died, the brothel were in there.
In other words, the brothel continued in the afterlife.
Exactly.
Because they chose, rumor has it that when you pass over, you can choose your environment and your associates.
That case was not because they chose, because they were doing that for a long time, and they believed they were still in the physical life.
Oh, they didn't realize they were
No.
dead. Oh, how sad.
They believed they were having their lives, as it happens to many personalities.
Which would account for ghosts and other things.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then what happened is that many people of that time were mad at them, at himself and at his wife, because some of them were not there because they wanted. They were like, let's say, forced somehow.
Sure, because they needed money and they had to work, so they became sex workers in this particular brothel.
And they were mad at him. And they were looking for him. And they found him and his wife and his family and everything. And they came to his house. The spirits came to his house and he started doing all the mess with his life. And then he started being in connection with them and in connection with the personality he was that time.
Mm-hmm.
And he did not know which sex he had, because that were already something that he did not leave things very set that time, because he was working on both sides, and everything came and he got lost.
In other words, what goes around comes around, because he exploited and hurt others by conscripting them into the brothel, whether they wanted to go or not. Once they had all passed over, decided to get even, and they
answering the question you said, you asked, by going to the other side, why does it happen? Nothing happens just by chance. You chose to have your life, and you continue it, because it is a question of I'm doing it every single day, and it comes to your mind. It is a condition of mind.
I was told that being transgendered was my path in this life, to make it easier for other transgendered people by doing a television show. People at the Edgar Cayce Foundation, for example, have told me that I'm doing exactly what I am meant to be doing, that I came here to do this. What I'm doing now,
Yeah, and after that, you are free to do whatever you want to with your life, because you have free will. And what happens is that you are doing that and helping others to accept the way they are.
I hope.
Because many people suffer too much for not accepting the way they have their lives. And there is nothing wrong with that. It is only one question of, okay, I will accept and live their life. And what can we do? We have to respect that. And you are doing this whole of telling them to respect themselves and accept themselves the way it is. It is all a question of, I would not say spiritual issue, but everything goes to that point. Whenever you cross over, your life continues, but you are a spirit, but you are conscious of everything you did.
Yes.
And that's the biggest point. If you are not conscious of some laws of the law of cause and effect and everything, you believe you are a victim, and there is no victim.
No, there is. If you're a victim, you sort of made yourself one by doing something that would attract, retribution.
Exactly. You are doing something, but you do not assume that you are doing, and you do not want to pay for the consequences. But if you think you are doing the right thing, and you are for you doing that, and it is in your brain, you continue doing that.
Now let me ask you, you've worked with John of God, I believe?
I would say I worked with John of God, but it was not exactly that work, because John of God, it was from 79 to 84. But John of God, he works like sleeping. He receives 2 doctors, but when he works, and I could see it for a long time, he acts as that doctor. And when on the other time,
does he channel them?
It's not. It's not like that. It goes like they take his brain, and his soul gets on the side, and the doctor.
Have the doctors passed over?
Both of them.
Okay.
Yeah, both of them. And the other important thing is that one in the morning has a personality, strong, tough, he has no, like a German, and he was it. And the other one is sweet.
Oh, that's a good balance.
Yeah, and when he wakes up, he doesn't remember anything. You remember Edgar Cayce was a sleeping prophet.
Yes.
It's like John of God, but in this time from 79 to 84, what I did was to bring people there, and in my broken English, people who came there from United States, those people that I met in there. And they did not know one word in Portuguese. I was there and I helped with my broken English, but I could help. I could make something.
Try to learn the language of the country you're visiting.
Yeah.
It's considered courteous,
And the guy who was taking care of the patients that I say, because that time, I don't know if he's doing that right now. I believe he could do surgery, live surgery. And it was done to many people, and I was there like to help those who chose that.
Yes.
I was with helping those who were helping.
Yes.
But I helped them when I went, bringing somebody, or for me, that I went many times. But whenever I wasn't there, I did not have the commitment to do something.
No, naturally. We all pick our lifestyle and our commitments, and it wasn't your path to be there. It's your path to be here. And
but there was a passage, a very beautiful thing that happened in there that I cannot forget. There was somebody who had a problem, mental problem, according to the doctors.
Okay.
And it was there for a long time. And she was very young. And when I saw it for the first time, because she was relative of a friend of mine, I noticed that it had nothing to do with mental matters, that had to do with the spirit issue. And I was working spiritually before, since I was 17, and it happened I was 26. And then we tried to bring her to John of God. And in the middle of the road, the bus broke, and we could not go anywhere. Then I found it was the bunch of spirits obsessor who did not want her to go. Then she went with her cousin by cab. Same thing happened. But then third time, they forced and they went. And it was a girl, a very skinny woman. And when she went there, there was a lady, an old lady in a wheelchair. And this girl, this skinny girl, was able to take that wheelchair with that woman and throw the woman away. She was going to do a lot of things because she was not alone. And John, he was incorporated. He came and he did something like this. It was very sweet thing that he did. And she stopped right there. And then he said, I just took what was doing that to you and made them quiet. But now you have to go such and such place, not in there, because there was cure and healing and surgery. You go to such and such place to help yourself with those
to have
spirits.
an effect in exorcism. Yes.
But he stopped. It was like less than 1 minute. Everything was calm. He stopped. And he was incorporated. I think it was with the first doctor, the German guy. But he was like tough on what he did. Wonderful. And he's humble. I love him.
Yes, he's very
humble.
Yes, he's John of God is a psychic healer in Brazil, world famous, truly miraculous. And look him up on the internet, John of God. He's an amazing person, entity.
And he is working for more than 50 years.
Oh, yeah?
Almost 60 years he's been in there, and he works 3 times a week. And I saw there many, many times. Like, I got in there like 6 a.m., and there were like 300 people.
Yeah, and people in the final terminal stages of cancer, people with every kind of illness and disease go there. It's almost a last resort, and people go there, and many are healed. And some are not, because it's their time to go, and it's not their time to be healed. It's their time to leave the earth plane. But those who can be healed are healed, which is amazing. And I know how skeptical you are, and I know you must think we're crazy, but we're not. It's documented everywhere. Go on the internet, look up John of God. Amazing, amazing.
And he asks you, you want a surgery, spiritual surgery without no side, no nothing, or you want live surgery. You don't need to do a live surgery.
No.
When you do, it's because you don't believe in the
It's because you believe that if they cut you open, you will be cured. It's a total illusion. You can have psychic surgery and be even better than if they cut you open and then sew you up, you know?
Yeah, my father went there once. I brought my father. And my father said, I want live surgery. And he took like a scissor and put it inside his nostrils, and he started doing this. And when he did that, it was not on the physical body, it was on the perispiritual body.
Right.
And my father did not feel anything because he did something like this as anesthesia. But my niece, who was close to me, fainted.
Well, yeah, you know. And if you're not used to it, if you don't know what's going to happen.
But many people, it happened to many people in there.
How long have you been in the U.S.? How long?
23.
23 years.
Yes.
Why did you come here?
I actually came in the very beginning because my son had a problem with leg perthes. It was one of the diagnoses. And his leg was supposed to dry. After the surgery, he was 1 year and a half. And that surgery could not be done in Brazil. It was like you change the hip replacement surgery.
Yes.
And the doctor sent me home and said he would never walk again. But I was already a spiritist. And I said, no way, you don't have that right to tell me.
Good.
I fought against them and brought my son to a spirit group where I was working. And he started walking. But I was told that it would be a very long treatment. And I also knew that in Brazil the surgery could not be done because they did not perform that surgery. And I thought, well, I have to do something for my son. And I came. And I also came here because I had the entities I worked with in Brazil for many years. I went to do my karmic life, let's say.
Yes.
It comes with another name. And I was told I had to do something in here, and it was related to healing. And I was about to go to California to do my graduate studies with a scholarship, and everything changed, and I came to New York. And they had said I would come to New York. And they said I had to come here and face all the things I had to face and do whatever I had to do in order to help with optometry. They did not say that name because that name that time was not common, but they said it is a different work. You worked with it before, and you will find the group you worked before in this lifetime, but as it is something very new, because optometry is a kind of a spirit science and great for offices and professionals of medicine, as long as they accept. And he said, in that country,
meaning the U.S.,
in the U.S., where you are going, they would not work spiritually as we do in Brazil.
No.
Because it is a different culture.
But they do have good surgery.
Yeah. But what you are going to know about and study about and bring there and start everything is what they need and what they will use, because it is more like professionalism.
Yes.
I am not doing exactly, but since I started in MNN to do my program, Spiritual Consciousness, I'm working on it. There has been 6 years, and I hope I go on with that and do the optometry and classes and everything, and go ahead with spiritual and animistic healing.
How can people contact you if they want to study with you or take your classes or, you know, be healed somehow?
Optometry, you love it at gmail.com.
And do you have a phone number that you can give?
Yes, 212-838-8691.
And we'll repeat that just before we go off. So
212-838-8691.
And where do you usually teach?
It was Portuguese, and I used to go to banks. It was more than 16 years, teaching employees of banks who had business with Brazil. Like UBS, like many other banks.
Yes,
it was a
sure.
bunch. But after 2008, with the banking crisis, things changed a lot.
Yes.
And I started having clients from other companies, but it was not the same. And with video editing, I also had many people with video editing. But actually now I'm working a lot with past life therapy.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
Past life therapy will explain a lot of things you might find mysterious and incomprehensible, and these things will become comprehensible. Skeptics, bear with us. I know if you're not into it, you're thinking, what are they talking about? But investigate, find out for yourself. See if being more spiritual is right for you. If it's your time to be spiritual, you will be. If not, that's fine. You have your own path, and that's just fine. And now, Spiritual Consciousness airs sporadically. You tend to do single episodes as opposed to a series.
Yes, I worked as a series for 5 years, but I was having trouble with my schedule, at my work, and then I spoke to people at MNN to give me time with singles until I organized my life.
Wonderful. Yeah. Anyway, so my guest has been
Elvina
Dasilva. Elvina Dasilva, as we would say in Spanish. Elvina, of course, is Portugués de Brasil y habla portugués. Give your contact number again.
212-838-8691.
That's if you want to study with Elvina. And she's a great spiritual teacher. She's known throughout the U.S. and South America for her, yes, great teachings and her ability to awaken spirituality in people and to point them in the right direction. Give your number one more time.
212-838-8691.
Okay, and I'm Diana Montford. This has been the Diana Montford Show. Thank you very much for tuning in. I love you a lot, and I will see you next time, and take really good care of yourself. And if you're spiritual, how wonderful, and if you're not, that is fine too. You be you. Whatever you are is just great. So I love you a lot, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
You are so lovely.
Oh, thank you. Well, we're still on. We have 21 seconds. When I give you a number again?
But you are at 212-838-8691 or apometry you love it at gmail.com, because it is universal love integrated therapies. You love it. Apometry, you love it.
Bye.
You are so lovely.
So are you. You were great.
Oh, you are natural.
So are you.
Yeah, I love your way.
Oh, okay. And I think my guest was outside.
Ooh, she came. Well,
too bad for her. You know, showing up that got Marilyn Monroe fired. Showing up an hour late. And I will call you and tell you when it's going to air.
Okay.
Okay, I can actually tell you now. It's going to air on August 20, whatever the Thursday.